Hi, everybody. Louis Balla here at Nuage, joined by Glenn Saunders, the head of Stratus. Today, I'm here to share with you our comprehensive insights into the NetSuite customer challenges of 2023. Through our dedication at Nuage, we've conducted an extensive analysis examining over 2,000 NetSuite work packet tasks submitted by our customers. Our objective is to continuously refine and enhance our Stratus managed service offering. Today, we're going to be talking about personalization. So, Glenn, what are you seeing? What did you see in 2023? And where are we going with NetSuite in 2024?
I think a lot of organizations are starting to understand that the standard processes may not exactly fit, and there may be better ways of doing things. As you know, it's super easy to add some fields, add some checkboxes onto NetSuite, have those
Yeah.
carry over, and have that drive workflow and function. And we see a tremendous amount of that inside of the Stratus program. Depending on how you categorize that, but we're starting to see more of like, oh, well, here's how we do things, but we have to do this other stuff outside, or we do it manually. We're like, well, okay, you could also add a checkbox and you could source it from the item record so you have visibility or whatever it is. We're really driving that with our customers because that's what we're great at, right? We know NetSuite and we know how it functions, so we help our customers. They help articulate the business problem to us, and we help deliver a solution from what NetSuite has as availability to help drive that more automation, intuitiveness, and just better usage of the system. So.
Yeah, and in that vein, it does seem like, and I really love Sweet Success's notion of just defining business process from a personalized standpoint. A lot of organizations, they get that up front, they maybe utilize it, maybe it was, ahead of their time when they first signed up with NetSuite. How are you all kind of defining process, recording process, and really trying to continuously improve that process with organizations we work with?
Yeah, so with the intake and that continuous engagement, right? So we look at your order to cash process. Okay, maybe in 6 months, a year, we look at it again because businesses change over time, and there's a concept of tribal knowledge that just goes into this is the way I've always done it. This is the way I was taught. So every time you remove one of those pieces of I can't remember. We were sitting in a customer's warehouse, and you remember those guys had been there like 20 years, and he was like, "No, we used to do the red tag thing. We don't do it anymore. We did 3 years ago. Somebody just quit doing it one day. It's like because somebody left." And so focusing just on that comprehensive and iterative design process, I'll call it, where we come back and we look at these things. And you brought up a good point. So I'm a big believer in Sweet Success. I think organizations try to overcomplicate themselves in a lot of ways. And I think you don't know why you do things. You just say that's the way we've done them. And so one of the things I like about Sweet Success is it resets to a baseline. It says, okay, here's what core functionality does. Okay, use that for a little bit. Look at it. And try to break it, say why it doesn't work, but come up with a good validated business reason for why it doesn't work, not because, I need to do it this way. One of my favorite stories, this was from a previous friend consultant I had worked with, was this dude printed out this big giant green bar page every day, paper, just killing trees, all to get the number at the finish line. And he needed that report, but all he really needed was the total. It's like, you don't need a big report, you just need a number. So focusing on the requirements, not the process. So I think that's a big thing too. It's not about the process, it's about the requirements. Okay, you need access to customer aging, customer balance information from a sales order. No problem. You don't need a report that automatically generates and pops up on your screen. You just need access to that information. The how is the why is the most important, not the how.
I appreciate that insight. Anything from a personalization standpoint is I think Suite Success has become the standard for NetSuite, and you're starting to see the likes of Acumatica and even SAP B1 try to copy that model to a certain extent. NetSuite has done a very good job of staying sticky in a lot of different verticals. You have a lot of micro verticals that have popped up. What are you seeing from a personalization standpoint? Where do you think NetSuite's going in the next year or two?
Yeah, I think they're going to go, and you've started to see this some more of the suite app route of instead of trying to tweak some of the reports and the stuff, they're building more analytics workbooks. They're going to build they've got the item 360, cash 360. I think you're going to see more of those apps, the work order traveler, the cost of bill of material. You're going to see more of those apps that will drive personal usage of that, as opposed to some of the reports out there. Again, I think it'll be interesting to see how we go with some of the workflow usage and development that hadn't been touched in a while, other than to add the sublines or the lines option a couple of years ago. I could see them revamping the way they do their workflow engine to make it a little more user intuitive, to provide a more personal experience, and to do some things like just a little more intuitive around like email communication, task assignment, stuff like that. I think that would be a worthwhile investment from NetSuite to drive better adoption and better personal usage of the system, as opposed to, you kind of have to know how to build a workflow within native NetSuite. It's not something just anybody can pick up, and that probably isn't the intent, right? You don't want just anybody creating a workflow, but with the proliferation of tools like Zapier and some of these others, if this, then that, stuff like that, I think you're going to see a little bit more of an end user wanting to be able to automate some of their own tasks, like Power Automate within Microsoft. So
Yeah. Well, to our listeners, we hope you appreciated this series. We're going to continue on talking a little bit more about efficient data management next. Please tune in.